Hello, I'm Jason Miller with AspenNow Solutions, where we seek to unlock the power of ServiceNow. I'd like to thank everyone, especially the subscribers, for viewing my videos. This will be part 3 of Incident Alert Management. And in terms of subscribership, we're up to over, let's see here, 100. So we're at 108, and we have 3,600 views or so. Again, thank you everyone domestically and abroad. I really appreciate it. This is who I am, Jason Miller. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm the founder of this channel, and the channel's purpose is basically to get to the point, talk about the tool, and show you how to do different things in the tool. Also, one thing I want to note on a personal level, if you are an organization out there and you are seeking to hire someone to do service level management or do project management for ServiceNow, I am available. Was supposed to enter an agreement with the company, and that kind of fell through, so I am exploring opportunities. Now, to move on today's session, we're going to be talking about incident alert related lists, and this will be the final component of the 3-part series on incident alert management. So we're going to talk about the incident related lists. This is the documentation where you find it. I won't spend too much time on this. One thing I wanted to note was that with the user contacts here, it tells you what the defaults are. So these are the 3 contacts that would be created in this tab when incident alert is created. So I kind of like this format right here. It shows you plainly how this stuff works without getting into all the nuance of what the definitions mean. So then we're going to go through incident alert tasks. We'll run the post-incident review. Prior to that, we're going to resolve it because in order to have the PIR tab show up, you'll have to resolve it. Then after we run the PIR, we'll go through the closure process. So last time I talked about the contact definition and how to set up these default overrides. So I think I just showed you them down here. I just want to make one really quickly so that way I don't leave you hanging on how to actually make these things. So as you can see here, we have different orders, 100, 200 on different event types as the condition for these 2 user values. So let's see here, excuse me, these 2 group values because this type is a group. So I'm just going to make a third one that says, and I don't know, let's just pick out, I think event type was the one I used before. So I'm going to use capacity and the group value. I don't know, I'll just go with AspenNow since it's there for time's sake. And we'll hit save. Now let's see here when we go back to, let's hit update. It'll take us back to the record. Now one thing I want you to notice here is that the orders, we have 2 that are 100. So depending on what your user requirements are, you can figure out whether you should have these the same or staggered. Generally though, I talked about in a previous video, especially when you're extending from that parent table, it gets kind of tricky into like how these orders run. So the child runs first and the parent, and then depending on the numbers, that's what'll run in terms of these conditions. So I'm just going to change it to 300. And we'll move over to the next tab here. So here we have our incident alerts, and I clicked on my alerts to get here. So this basically says all that are opened by me or assigned to me. So I kind of like this. This is nice. If I wanted to, I could add a filter condition. Like let's say I didn't want to look at the ones that are, let's say ones that are state, that are not, is not one of. Let's say resolved, canceled, or closed, and we could run that. And then it simplifies the list. So it's just a matter of what your preference is. So we'll go into one of these. And yes, I just believe I created this one. And we'll see here our configuration is 3D pinball. I'm sure all of you have that in your enterprise. And we'll go and scroll down to the related list, which is what we'll be working on today. So we don't have any task SLAs, number 1. Oh, I'm sorry, we're actually in the incident here. My apologies. I was going to make an incident alert out of this. So one thing we'll notice is that when the incident alert is created, and I believe, yes, we're in it right now. Now we can scroll down. I'm going to put in a test description just to save this. And you'll see there that it brought over some of the source incident details. And then down here is where you're going to have the impacted CIs, the incident alert tasks, the user contacts, and I just referred to the users that are automatically brought over by default, group contacts, related incidents, etc. So if we wanted to add a CI to this for our impacted CIs, we go over here, and then maybe I could add in 3D pinball, hit save, and there you go. So that, and if we go down here, we see 3D pinball as our impacted CI. For incident alert tasks, one of the great things is that, or one of the things that you should note is that you can actually create SLAs against these tasks. So if you want to create an incident alert, need a conference call. Let's see here, maybe it'll be, yeah, initiate conference call. And then we could assign it to, I don't know, let's just go with ServiceNow if that's available. Excuse me, this is the assigned to the individual person. I'm going to assign it to Bud Richmond. And I'll hit save right here. And as we can see here, I added this task SLA tab, so you'd have to do the same. Remember the old trick, you can double click right here, configure and related lists, and that would pop in right there. So now we can go back to the incident alert. So we've created our task. Open the record. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the Kingston interface. It's a little bit different. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to assume that the entire alert is done. We'll put it into resolve. Now, one thing I want to show you is what happens when you try to put it into closed. You're going to see a bunch of stuff pops up. We have some things grayed out here. Now, when I click save, we're going to see here, not a valid transition. So we have to put it in resolve first. And when I put it into resolved, there's going to be a PIR tab. It pops up here. There we go, post-incident review. So we'll see this little asterisk here, which means that we need to fill something in here. Resolved, no problems, and that's taken care of there for you. So now we'll save that. Okay, so now if we want to, and I'll get off of this tab, go back into the details. Now if I want to close it, you'll see here we have this close and close by pop up. There's nothing you need to do. Just click save, and then you'll see that these fill in right here. I'm sure that most organizations, they're probably going to put in a UI policy to make these read-only upon closure. So if you haven't seen my video on UI policies, there is one out there. You can go check that out, how to institute that. Okay, so now we've done all that, and let's move on here. We have another alert here. Oh, we want to do the reporting, don't we? So let's go over to our reports. I think I have it. There we go, all the way over here. So when we type in alerts, we have here my alerts. We also have here the overview. So if I click on the overview, what that's going to do is going to bring up a nice dashboard here. You're going to have your incident alert homepage, which you can modify it however you want. Also, I do have a video out there on SLA reports, so you could come here with that information and maybe set up SLAs against the incident alerts and then set up SLA reports against the incident alerts, if that makes sense. So if I wanted to get there another way, I would hit space / and you see reports. And I love how they put that in there, so all I have to do is put in the space / and then I'll come into the reports, and this is going to ask us to create. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just skip over to all. And now I'm just going to type in alert. And now we're going to see our default 4 that were on that home page there. So if we don't want to have it on our home page, no big deal. And then we could go in and look at these different things if we wanted to. I'll just demo a little bit here. If you're not familiar with reports in ServiceNow, pretty simple. They can get complicated if you want to, but basically it's point and click on a lot of this stuff. If you double click on that slice of the pie, it pulls up the records. It gives you everything in the filter right here. I can't think of a better setup than this for novices to go in there and start experimenting with it. So, in sum, we've reviewed the rest of the incident alerts management process. I thank you for viewing today. Again, my name is Jason Miller. I'm the founder of AspenNow Solutions, and we just unlock the power of ServiceNow. Thank you, and have a great day.